What's going on, y'all? It is your girl, Brie Undeniably, checking in for another episode of my new speaker series, Deep Conversations with Dope Individuals, where we're discussing development, decision making, and dedicating yourself to purpose. So today, as always, I am here with a super dope individual. I'm going to go into my shout outs, and ironically, today my shout outs will roll right into the dope individual that I have here. You will see why. So, first and foremost, I'd like to shout out Gotham Podcast Studios. If you are watching this on YouTube or if you're listening in, I record from Gotham. They do all the audio and the video so that clean sound that you hear or that crisp video that you're watching is all Gotham Podcast Studios. You can't help but pump your own self up when you're doing something for yourself. So if you want to get any dope individual merch or I Am Possible merch, you can head over to my website at brieundeniably.com. You can also find me at brieundeniably on all of my social sources, and the podcast now has an Instagram page, which is dope_individuals_podcast. So go check that out. And finally, so y'all know, if you are listening or watching, I always shout out MC Kicks. First and foremost, I am wearing some MC Kicks merch. I'm wearing the Aaliyah tee. So, MC Kicks is always hooking it up with dope merch and really cool apparel and customization stuff. But I'm super pumped. I said this would roll into our dope individual. I am here with Marissa Confair, who is the founder of MC Kicks and the artist at MC Kicks. Marissa, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So excited to have you here. So, MC Kicks is a company that I am super close with for several reasons, but I feel super blessed to have Marissa on the podcast right now. I'm going to give her the introduction that she deserves, and then we will kick into it. So let me see here. So Marissa Confair, originally from northeastern Pennsylvania. She went to college for fashion design at Philadelphia University. She is a big Eagles fan. I didn't didn't actually know if I should bring that in or not. But, I know the other people, the Eagles fans on the other side that are listening in are going to be really happy. So big Eagles fan here. We'll get through it. Okay, so she has designed and created a line of clothing and sold at a small boutique at home in Pennsylvania after college. She moved to New York City the following year with big dreams of being a successful designer. So in the meantime, she spent years doing nail art for editorials and many Fashion Week shows. Super cool. She worked for design department of, make sure I say this right, BR Guest Hospital. Wow, that all came together as I said it.
Yeah.
BR Guest Hospitality Group for a bit. Also competed in NEWH Product Runway Show and came in second with a Mexican wedding dress made of tiles from Artistic Tile. She took her undying love of hip hop and combined it with her love of fashion to create MC Apparel in 2015. She started out doing hats, moved into apparel, and then sneakers in 2018. And then she brought on a business partner in 2019 and has been growing and expanding the business into other areas since. Marissa Confair, welcome once again. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks.
So this is like quite an introduction because I actually, I know you on a personal level at this point, but I didn't know you did all this stuff prior to prior to our relationship.
Yeah.
So okay, tell me. We're gonna start all over the board here. Because I have so many questions. But first, as I start all of my podcasts, my listeners know in the counseling community, I like to meet my clients where they're at. I like to do the same thing with my podcast so that my listeners can understand who the guest is. So help us meet you where you're at and tell us a little bit more about yourself in your words.
So currently where I'm at, coming off of a very, very busy holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Took on the Union Square Christmas market for the first time.
Amazing.
Obviously, my business partner. So Kay and I had no idea what we were getting into, and it ended up being really, really great. Extremely busy, a bit overwhelming.
Yes.
In many senses, as far as being at the market, managing the scheduling, and then the abundance of orders and having to get them done as well in time for Christmas. So it was really, really cool thing to do. Lots of lessons learned. Excited to definitely go back next year, possibly expand into more markets. But right now, in January, coming down off of that high, just trying to figure out where we're headed this year, where the areas that we want to grow in this year. And it's just an exciting time. Feeling really confident about what's to come this year.
That's so awesome. I love to hear it. I mean, I know how successful the holiday market was. Also, huge learning curve.
Thank you for the help.
Yeah, I actually I helped out a lot at that holiday market. Definitely. I mean, it really was an incredible experience, though. I mean, I know that was the first time MC really did something like that. And when I tell you, like, you all took over the holiday market, it was one of the hottest booths there. Like, people were lining up to see the artwork and the apparel and everything that MC had to offer. So kudos to y'all.
Very cool. Thank you. Big shout out to you, because I mean, we really couldn't have done it without you. So thank you.
If only I could do the artwork like you, though. That's where we're going to transition to, because I mean, like, your artistic ability is unmatched. And
thank you.
For those, you know, I feel like all of my listeners at this point have checked out MC, because I'm always pumping them through the podcast as well as my socials. But if you have not taken a look, let this be the moment in this episode that you choose to do so, because what they're designing is truly incredible, and all of the art is hand done by Marissa. So I really want to go down that artist journey with you.
Yeah,
so back to kind of the bio that I read in the beginning of this. This has been a lengthy journey for you. Let's start your artist journey where you want to start it.
Yeah. I mean, people ask me all the time. So I feel, honestly, I kind of feel bad with my response sometimes, because, you know, I feel extremely blessed. Because when I sit down to do my artwork, I don't feel like it's something that I struggle with. Like, it just flows. It just comes naturally, which I'm sure many, many different artists can relate, musicians, whatnot. But I feel extremely blessed for that. Throughout my whole life, like growing up, I mean, art school in high school, then college, and I think it hit me in college.
Okay.
Where I was like, man, there's some really talented people that I went to school with. I went to Philadelphia University, great school. And I don't know, why am I like finishing first? Like, why am I done immediately and not really having to think about it and put effort into it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel bad saying that.
It just came.
But
you shouldn't, though. It
and
came
then I'm
naturally
like,
to you.
Oh, okay, well, Dean's List again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like always good grades, because it's something that came naturally. So I feel very fortunate.
Yeah.
And I just love doing it. It's something that I don't, like I said, I feel bad saying it doesn't require a lot of effort. It obviously does. It requires time, especially when I do things like the shirt you're wearing, the Basquiat. Obviously, that requires a lot of thought, because I make them like puzzles. But besides that, you know, I don't even nail art. Like, I sat down and just decided I was doing my nails since I went to college. So I used to always get them done before that. And then I went to school, found this girl that was in my hall freshman year. She did nails, and I was like, oh, boom, friends.
That was it.
I'm like, oh, roommate next year? Great.
Great, this works.
So I just started doing nail art from there. And then it just, like, I came to New York, met somebody else right away that also did nails. So we're like, hey, let's get into this thing. And we started doing fashion weeks and stuff, started getting some editorials, and then got more. And it was just, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then I wanted to start a line of clothing. It's what I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
I went to school for fashion design.
Yes.
Always wanted to start a line of clothing. Never knew it would be streetwear.
Interesting. Tell me more.
In college, I mean, every single collection class that I had, or any crazy, you know, design class, I always went like the couture route.
Oh, so that is like totally,
totally crazy, like
totally different.
I went the couture route, and then I did a semester in Rome. And when I did the semester in Rome, I was like, ugh, Versace, Cavalli, like it was my everything.
Yes.
And I had the best professor. God rest her soul, had no idea she was sick at the time.
Oh.
And she really took a liking to me in my illustration classes. So she really was like, listen, you're really good at this. And I used to work for Versace, so I would like to send your designs in. I was like, amazing, let's do this. Great, send the designs in. Okay, cool. I get back a semester later, the design director for the fashion design director in my school called me in and told me that she passed. And we had no idea she was sick. I was so sad.
Oh my goodness.
But, you know, that aside, I'm grateful for the time I spent with her, and she really made me like hone in on that couture. I loved it. So that's what I thought I would do forever. I'm like, I don't know, maybe wedding dresses. Let's see, like, you know, maybe red carpet, dresses, like whatever.
Right.
And here I am with a streetwear line doing sneakers. Not what I predicted, but I'm really grateful for it.
Well, you know what? I don't think any of us really end up where we predict, because there's just no way to predict it. I mean, life and opportunity and circumstance all comes upon us, and then we just sort of follow that trajectory. So what I think is interesting is that, like, their MC for, well, what I'm learning too, it's actually a combination of three things: art, fashion, and hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? Because for me, I knew, I think I knew you went to school for fashion, but I've always just seen you as Marissa the artist.
Yeah.
So like I'm like painting artist, not like artist in fashion design artist.
Yeah.
So I just think it's really interesting that everything has sort of come to a head with MC, that you have this combination of three things that were really prominent in your life.
Technically four, because I wanted it to be my initials as well.
Right. Yes. Okay, if anyone hasn't figured that out, well, actually, go for it.
MC.
Explain the MC and the play on MC.
So, I mean, I struggled with the name for a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, what do I want to call this? And I would come up with this, sit down and combine words and be like, this is cool, but this doesn't suit me. And then as every great idea comes to me right before I take a nap. Man, I miss naps, by the way. I haven't had a nap in so long. But
one day they will come again.
Right before I lay down, even just to go to sleep at night, tons of great ideas come to me. That's when they come. So, always be like, keep a sketchbook by the side of your bed. Even, phone these days. But, So I was laying down and I was like, just thinking hip hop, this, the other. I'm like, MC. So I sat up, took the sketchbook next to my bed, and just wrote it. And the way I wrote it is pretty almost exact how it is today.
Really?
It's just that it was a bit more slanted.
Got it.
So
that's the sweatshirt that she is wearing. So if you are watching on YouTube, you can see the MC. Was that like that specific design you said is a little more slanted, but it looks like a city skyscape to me.
Intentional.
Okay,
and also
that's what I thought.
heartbeat.
And heartbeat, yes. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, so there's so much behind this. I'm learning.
There's a bit there,
And then obviously, if you didn't catch MC, her initials Marissa Confair, but it is spelled EMCEE, like a hip hop MC.
Yes.
So that is everything full circle.
Yeah. Reason being for me, I grew up massive hip hop fan.
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense. I'm like, why in fourth grade am I listening to, Snoop Dogg Murder Was the Case? Yes, aging myself, I know. But I'm like, how does this exist to somebody in fourth grade? And I remember my friend at the time, like, there were a couple who are still my friends today, a couple of them, and I'm like, we just grew up like these massive hip hop bands as these white girls in an area of all white people. It made no sense.
Yes.
But that's where I decided, I'm like, I really like good, like, artistic music that tells stories. And that's what a lot of old school hip hop is. Obviously, you know that,
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I wanted to take that love. Because I don't get any other feeling like I do when I listen to some of my favorite songs.
I love it.
It's just this amazing, incredible feeling that, like, gets you so hype and you're just like, I can conquer the day. Yes, I am a queen. Like, I'm going to take over, right? And then, like, it gets you so excited. So I just wanted to kind of take that feeling that I get when I listen to those really, really dope MCs and kind of embody it in some streetwear, like shirts like that, and honor some of the greats. And that's kind of,
So
I came up with it.
That it all makes sense. Will you listen to music while you're painting?
I always listen to music while I'm
like,
painting.
is it a non-negotiable for you?
No, I mean, I do throw in a few audiobooks. I listen to some podcasts, mainly like yours. I don't listen to that many others. But yes, always music.
Yeah.
Always. Love it.
Amazing. I love it. It makes sense. Everything that you're saying, just if if you're painting, doing something that you love, or designing, and also using the inspiration that really got you there to propel it forward.
For sure.
Okay, so I want to jump back a little bit. So we got kind of like the young Marissa, or college day, trying to figure out like you being an artist in some way, but taking those turns and sort of figuring out where it's going to land. You moved to New York, and a couple things came to be, right? So like when you moved to New York, I don't know exactly how many years it was, but a few years down the line, you started developing MC. How did that happen?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I moved to New York, got extremely sidetracked.
Okay.
In
as we all do.
The bar and restaurant industry.
Definitely. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Bartender for a very long time. Very, very grateful for that path that I took.
I agree.
I don't regret any of it. I don't like to live with the idea of regrets. So it brought me to where I am now.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
So it did take me a bit, I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of pushing from people that know me and that love me, trying to get me to where I finally arrived at in 2015. But also just like being stubborn, going out after work all the time. You get caught up in the life. It is so difficult to stay focused in that life, as you know.
1,000%. I want to, if you're cool with it, let's talk about it a little bit more, because I think that is something, as everyone listening knows, that I bartended for 10 years or was in the industry for 10 years, was a server for like the first one, and then bartended for the next 9. But everything that you're saying, I feel like resonates with so many people who are working in the industry, because it's soul sucking, but it really is. But it's also allowing so many people who are doing that work able to do what they're passionate about, or do that freelancing on the side, or pursue that passionate part of them on the side. So it's like this catch-22.
Yeah.
Because you're in this balancing act.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And I think what you said was interesting, that you had some people pushing you.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's almost like it wasn't as if you probably didn't want to pursue art, but you're like, how am I going to be an artist without an income?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, especially a bartender's income.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick, easy, good money. Make a lot, then, hey, let's go to Miami 3 times a year, 4 times. Why?
Right.
What are we celebrating? Our accomplishments of what? Saturday night being great? Like, no, get it together.
Oh my gosh, it's so real and it's so true. We used to say we work to support the habit, and it was literally like we would serve the alcohol to then close up the bar and then take all the money and go drinking with each other. What are we celebrating?
And then let's not forget, if you work at a place that like they're kind of cool with you drinking there, disaster.
Sheesh.
That kills you.
It really does.
Kills you.
Yeah.
It might work in your 20s. And I mean...
And then if you work at a place that you're not allowed to drink there, but you're still drinking there, you take that alcohol is killing you lifestyle, and then combine it with the stress of not getting caught because you can't lose your job.
Yeah, right? Sneaking it on the side.
Because you're still going to do it.
Yep.
So, oh my gosh, yeah, I get that. I just think, I think this part, like I like when we get to this part of the conversation, because it's like that caterpillar becoming the butterfly. It's like there's so many, millions and millions of individuals out there right now who are working in the industry. Also, shout out if you're working in the industry right now, because I know it's a totally changed landscape.
Yeah.
Which is even crazier. At this point in my life, I can't even imagine with those types of restrictions because I thought it was bad pre-pandemic. But there are millions and millions of people out there in this exact situation with friends who are pushing them to, pursue that passion or do that thing that is like clearly everyone sees as your calling. Like,
right.
My gosh, this girl is an incredible artist. The world needs to see it. But who just are, it's not even stuck. I never felt like I was like stuck in the life. At the time, I felt like I needed that income and that was how I was getting the cash flow. But there was a point in time where I was, I would say in like the beginning and the middle of, for me, my bartending career where I wasn't looking past the bartending career, like I had the ideas for me and I was going to school, but like it wasn't like actually pursuing my own thing wasn't even like on my radar because I was just like so much in that life.
Right. 100%. And you know what the hardest part of that life for me was? And I'm sure if there's people in it right now that are kind of in the same position or maybe they're trying to get there, the hardest part is definitely if you work at a place where it's cool to drink and your customers expect you to drink and they're going to tip you more and that's what kind of it's about, right? The hardest part is when you stop drinking at work.
Yeah.
Because the friends that you work with there, and shout out to all of them that I worked with because we're still close today, so love you all, but sometimes people don't understand. I will never forget when I decided I have to stop drinking in order to focus. And like so many questions. Why aren't you drinking tonight? Just take one shot with me. What's one shot? It's so hard. It is really, really difficult. But in order to like really get into a good place, you have to do that. And like it was the last 3 years. No, 2. I wish 3, but no. That I really didn't drink very much at all behind the bar.
Yeah.
And it was so hard, but that's where I had the most growth.
Speak on it. Tell us more. I love what you're saying because it's like I've definitely had guests come on who have also worked in the industry and we talk about it. And I find that this is like the most powerful part of the conversation. It really is. Like this is that growth point, that pivotal point. Yeah. Those decisions, like I say, development, decision making, dedication to purpose. Like this is a decision making point that like is transformational for you.
100%. Yes.
So I think, tell us more.
I mean, that's what it was. Like, I'm like, no, I care about this more than I care about having shots with people and making them happy.
Yeah.
Trust me, I enjoyed it while I was there. I met so many cool people. I mean, hello, I met my business partner, Kay.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Shout out to Kay.
I mean, I would not have met him if I wasn't in that life.
Yeah.
And look where I am today now. And, we're growing and, like, the business is becoming, really, really putting a name out there for ourselves, like, building our reputation. So I'm very grateful for that. But like I'm saying, it is just so hard. If you decide you want to focus on your career, just stick with it. Like, especially as you get older, obviously, not to sit here and be like, I'm this old hag, but no, it's harder when you drink, because like you still want to get up the next day, go to the gym.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that would keep me going.
I like that.
Is go to the gym, get the mental right, no matter what, and then like just stay focused. Try to get focused. Like it's hard, but you can do it.
It's hard, but you can do it.
If I did it, trust me, and I was in that life, I had the best time.
It's so true. It's hard, but you could do it, and you can still have fun doing it too. Because I agree. Yeah. I 1000% have met some of the absolute closest people in my life from working in the industry. Some amazing guests that I have had or that will come on the podcast I've worked in the industry with. I mean, from 10 years ago till now, I met my family in New York from working. Shout out to Beauty in Essex, because that was where I spent hundreds of hours a month, not just like I spent so much time there, but it was you create your network and your family and your people, and you're literally spending more time with the people that you're working with, especially in the industry, because the hours are fluid and the managers will make sure you know.
I mean, they become your family.
They become your family. But to your point as well, if they are, if you really do, find those close people, but also the ones that are going to push you and say, like, nah, I appreciate that you're not drinking tonight because you got to get up tomorrow, get to the gym, and start working on your art.
Absolutely.
You got to do, you need to have those people, and they're there too, because when you find other people who are pursuing their passion outside of the industry, it's a lot easier to.
It is. It really is. There was somebody I worked with, I'll never forget, still friends to this day, and she kind of pushed me to the point of like, all right, I got to get going. She would always ask me, how's it going? How's everything going with the art? How's everything going with MC? And I'm like, it's going, AKA I'm doing nothing. Let's be honest.
I have the name, I have the idea, but I'm not.
And she'd be like, just do yourself a favor. She said, just do one thing every single day. It doesn't matter what it is.
I like it.
Do one thing every single day, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, to dedicate yourself to that company.
Yeah.
And I just started doing that, and then it just builds momentum. And then you want to do more. And then you want to spend more time, more than 5 minutes. Like, how can I make this happen? And I'll never forget when I approached Kay about possibly working with me. He's like, what do you do? Like, I don't think he even understood what I did. And it was right when I got into sneakers. And it didn't happen right away. It took some time. And then when it happened, I'm like, oh, my God, like, cool. This person really believes in me and wants to be a part of my team. Now I have a team?
Yes.
What? It's not just me? I was so psyched. And then it just keeps going, snowballing into like something great. It's going to keep snowballing into even something better.
It really will. One, first and foremost, shout out to that coworker of yours who was always asking you and planted that seed and said to do one thing a day, because I think that is such sound advice, especially for people who are in this in-between phase, who are trying to start something or trying to pursue a passion or trying to do something more than what is taking place in their lives now. Work on it once a day in some capacity, whether it's for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Do something towards that goal. And like you said, that will build the momentum.
Absolutely.
So big shout out to that person.
Yes.
Second shout out, which we already said, but shout out to Kay for believing in you. And, really, for you being like, I'm doing this thing. And he's like, what is this thing? And,
I know. And as the person that created the company, and the artist behind it, honestly, every day's not easy. Sometimes I have major doubts.
Right.
So I'm really, really grateful for just having him in my life, because honestly, one thing that gets me through every single day is actually practicing gratitude every single day.
I love it.
And listing the things that I'm grateful for, even if I'm having the worst day in the world. Mm-hmm. The worst day in the world. And he's always on that list. Even if I'm like, thank you for Kay, that day. I was just kidding. But seriously, just putting intention behind it, and that's one thing that's super important to me. I'm a big believer in is gratitude.
I think that's a great practice too. Just putting it on paper, what you're grateful for daily.
Mine's my shower time.
Okay, I love it.
My shower time.
Makes sense.
Say a couple prayers. Say my affirmations. List what I'm grateful for. Boom. Go do the day.
That's actually that. Again, listeners, they know I have pumped the power of me using my. I like to take baths. I do. I
don't fit in my bathtub. I love baths.
For me, it's super similar, but it's my bath time. That's where I'll meditate. I'll do not so much. I like the listing. What things that you're grateful for, because I think that's awesome. But I'll meditate, I'll listen to a podcast episode, I'll kind of go over my day, and then what I've done well, what I can continue to work on, and then for me, it's very much in that bathroom sanctuary space as well.
I love the bathroom. It's just great. The shower's great.
It really is. We're not alone either. I know I've had plenty of guests who have also said the same thing. I think the most common places that people get their thinking done is when they're bathing, shower, or bath, right before they go to bed. Mm-hmm. So in the bed, or commuting. So whether it be in the car or on the train, I think those are the most common places that people kind of do their center themselves and do their
Yes.
thinking and gratitude and such.
Mine's
so.
also when I do some form of cardio, which is like, ugh. But
Yep, at the
I'm
gym
like,
as
if
well.
I need to pass this time, let's start thinking.
Gotta get through this.
Yeah.
Gotta distract my mind. Oh, that's so funny. Well, I think I love that. The gratitude is a really important takeaway, I think, for listeners here. Okay, so I actually want to transition back a little bit. So we definitely got like the backstory of you and kind of went through a little bit of that journey. I want to go to still in the past, but sort of the seed of MC. So we talked about you creating the name. When did you actually start like doing things with it? When did you actually start? Like you started with hats, right?
Started with hats.
So let's talk about that, like
Okay.
that thinking, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do a hat, or hey, do you want a hat? Can I do one for you? Like, what was the process?
So, boom, decided love black and gold.
Okay.
All right, cool. Black and gold. Let's roll with it. Then decided, why don't we, start painting under the brim?
Okay.
Okay. So therefore I can get it embroidered, but I can put my touch on it. So I started doing that. And then I had a couple random connections to some celebrities.
Were they from the industry? Did you know them through people
One
in
of
the
them
industry?
was. Shout out to Justice.
Yes.
Wu-Tang.
Shout out to whoever you need to shout out to.
So no, but my friend Justice is a really, really cool dude, and I'm very appreciative of him. So his father is a Wu-Tang member, so I was able to actually do a couple hats for some of them, which I almost dropped dead when that happened. Almost dropped dead.
Incredible. That is really awesome.
So that, and then I ended up meeting Lupe Fiasco, so that was really cool, and did a hat for him. So then I was like, all right, this is cool. Why don't we start painting shirts? Get some streetwear out there, but I didn't want it screen printed. I want it to be kind of artsy. So I don't want to paint the basic area here. So let's do maybe on the side or just do something different.
Yeah.
Include some kind of lyrics. Every lyric that I included had the word MC in it. So started doing that, and that was cool. But also then I realized this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
On like a cotton shirt.
Hand painting. Yep.
Nice idea, but no. Doesn't make sense for the long haul. You're not going to make a ton of money doing that. But also at this time, I really just was in it because I love doing it.
Because you love doing it.
So then I decided, all right, still doing nails. Why don't we try a bigger canvas? And I was like, why don't I just try a sneaker? So I had these all white Jordan 1s, and I was like, okay, let's just try it for myself.
Yeah.
And did it. Cool. Did another pair. The second pair I was doing, I spent about 10 hours on, and then I decided to take a break. And when I took a break that day, walked over to this restaurant that was near my house, a little kind of new Latin spot. And the owner was there, really, really great, wanted us to come in. Come in. Treated us like we're so great. I'm like, cool, sit down. Took care of us, asked us lots of questions. And the funniest thing was he sat us at this table, and right across from the table was this wall of three large paintings of painted sneakers. And I was like, okay, universe, I see you.
It was a moment.
I was like, this is a joke. I'm like, how is this a real life situation? I was just painting for 10 hours.
Oh my goodness.
It was nighttime. I was tired. I haven't eaten. I'm like, this is insane.
Wow.
So, we were sitting there and I'm laughing. And he comes over. He's like, hey, guys, yeah, what's good? What do you think about the menu? What's so funny? What are we laughing at over here? Very friendly. Told him, like, I was painting sneakers all day. And I sit down and here we go.
There they are.
And he like walks away and he comes back. He's like, cool. So, would you want to do a pair of sneakers for Fat Joe for his birthday for next month? And I was like, yeah, sure. I've been doing this forever. Meanwhile, it was my second pair.
Yes.
But, hey, fake it till you make it. Right? Come on.
I was just going to say fake, but you're not faking it. You had actually been an artist forever.
Well, true.
And you have painted at that point several, more than one, right?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Right. True. Facts. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense to
exactly.
me.
More than one.
More than one.
About 3.5.
That's it. Yeah.
So I took that on, and that was the third pair of sneakers I've ever done. And then he loved them. And from there, he wanted another pair.
Amazing.
I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I was so excited.
That is so
It was great. And then ended up just kind of getting to some other really cool people. And shortly after that, brought Kay on board and then just kept going from there.
Wow. Okay. So I love, again, more things that I'm learning about you that I didn't know. And I love that part of your story. I think that is so awesome because it's like you started to build the momentum, even from, we're bringing it back to that one coworker who said, do one thing a day. You built it and you have this small snowball that gets a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. You expand through, different collections, so to speak, trying to decide, okay, this might not be the right fit. Let me try, not exactly hats. Let me try t-shirts. Okay, this is a little bit more like arduous. Let me try sneakers. And then again, it's like that opportunity, just like the universe came in, the opportunity happened upon you, and you were already building your snowball of momentum.
Yes.
So it was.
I will say, this is a really strange thing to say.
Okay.
But since I was younger, I don't know why, but I've always just had this feeling. That's why I never really got super worried about what's going to happen. Oh, because I'm a bartender. I just always had this feeling that this is going to work out for me.
I love it.
And it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's something very strange. I mean, it's just this I'm like, oh, no, I'm good because this is going to work.
It's going to work.
And I'm cool with that.
I think that's also, this is me guessing, but maybe you've just always been aware of your ability. Like deep down, even though that doesn't necessarily mean you've always had confidence in that ability or to execute with that ability, because that's a different layer. But knowing your innate natural ability, like that, you have been an artist for your whole life, essentially.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. And also maybe it's just like a weird personal affirmation I told myself my whole life because I know I need to make it happen.
I love it. And that's really true too. It's like one of those things where you have to believe yourself when you're telling yourself
100%.
those things. You
have to believe it, and you have to feel it too.
You have to feel it. It's really true.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So I think that's such great insight too, because whatever point my listeners are at right now, you have to be able to believe that and feel that. So if you're telling yourself something that you might have been pushing down since you were young or whatever the sort may be, then, start to say it a little bit louder. Start to listen to that voice. Start to really do one thing a day towards that affirmation. Okay, so Fat Joe came into the picture, flipped the switch for you, changed some things, made this really real.
Oh, yeah, it was
almost.
So cool. It was 40/40 Club. It was his birthday. I'm seeing all these pictures of my sneakers on the pool table there.
Cool.
I'm all these celebrities like Noriega, Mary J. Blige, all these people are tagging it, but not tagging me, though. That was one thing. I'm like, okay, no problem. But I'm like, oh my God, I did those. Hot 97 is posting it. I'm like, this is so cool. I did those.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, if only there was a tag or something. But it's all good because they were still there. I know that people liked them, and that was good for me.
Yes.
And my self-esteem. I don't know if I was tagged at that time, if I could have handled what would have happened. To be honest, probably not.
That's actually really true.
So as much as it was a bit disappointing,
yeah,
I also really believe that there's always a reason that things happen.
100%.
So I don't know that I would have been able to handle what would have happened at that time.
Yeah, it could have been overwhelming as well.
Absolutely.
Just the star shock of seeing all these people, kind of hovering over your thing, but then having to intake that all through whatever it might be.
And they were cool. I did the pair. If anybody happens to want to look back on MC page,
they will.
We're way back. So it's the pair that is Big Pun inspired, because obviously Fat Joe, Big Pun, super close back in the day. Rest in peace. So it was a tribute to him for his birthday because it was designed after the shirt that Big Pun wore in Still Not a Player video.
Yes.
Fat Joe's. So I was like,
amazing.
It was cool. And I had the little picture of Fat Joe or Big Pun with it. So
that's awesome.
Tried to make it special for him because they gave me creative freedom. They're like, do whatever you want.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. No problem,
Yeah.
got this. But
I
it
am
came
a
to me right away. I
business
was like, this
person
makes
now.
sense.
Yeah, that's
So-
which it would, because again, innate natural ability is you being
Okay.
an artist. It would come to her naturally. Okay, so when was it that you were like, okay, I have to kick it up a notch and like make this a business, or I need a business partner? Was that like shortly after this where you're like, or was there more time in
So
between?
That was August 2018. And then Kay and I officially became involved in business together in spring of 2019. I think it might have been April.
Okay.
Around there.
Yeah,
but we were in talks of it before.
Yeah.
And kind of I didn't know how to go about it. Like, so at first it was like, all right, let's try this as my manager.
Yeah.
And then as we were building, I'm like, it makes more sense, and also would give him, in my mind, I'm like, it would give him maybe an like initiative to like really be a part of
To
this
really-
if
yeah.
I make him like just about equal partner.
Got it.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like it makes sense, and he does so much work on his end, and then I also am doing a ton of work on the artist side, but he does everything I don't want to do, so it's great.
So it works out. It works out perfect. Yeah, you two, you work really well together, and I
Yeah.
think that's really cool that like you, with business, found the counterpart that you needed to fill in the gaps that you either didn't have the capacity to do, didn't want to do, or whatever
Yeah.
it might have been, which is very smart in business, is to find a business partner who complements
Yes.
and can work side by side with what you're doing to fill in the gaps that you're not doing.
Know your weaknesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Kay does all that business stuff, and you are full blown in the artist sector of MC now.
It's great. It allows us to move quicker. Like,
Yeah.
if I had to do a lot of the things that he's doing, it would be a much slower pace.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. If you have to take on all of that at once
Yeah.
as a business person, like that cuts your capacity in half.
Yep.
Because you're doing it with two people, you're working side by side, and you're getting it done in half the time that one person would be able to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, in the same token, know how to do everything in your own business.
Yes.
Don't be ignorant.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Know your weaknesses, bring somebody in that's stronger in those parts. So
I think that's really important as well, because there's always going to be a point where you have to learn everything.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be in the beginning.
Yes.
You will learn how to do absolutely everything that you never thought you would need to learn how to do in the very beginning of trying to build this, because there's so much to learn.
So much.
But then, as you said, know your weaknesses. Once you have learned it, once you have executed it to, business standard, find someone who can, execute it to gold star standard.
Right. If they're really good at it, huge plus.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so this kind of brings us full circle. We still have about 10 minutes left or so, but we're sort of full circle to where you said in the very beginning when I asked you to introduce yourself, you said you guys just came off of doing the market, and like here you are now. So, actually, is there anything major to fill in between the time that Kay came on and the market that you just finished? Like, do you want to kind of talk about that expansion?
I mean, we were kind of like, all right, I did a couple of celebrities, before that. I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be a big thing. Do you want to be involved, right? So we kind of decided to go that route a little bit, and like, hey, can we do some promo pairs for this, that, and the other person? So he did help me get some really cool people. So there are a bunch more under the belt that we've had. I will say the coolest that we've had.
Yes. Name drop everyone.
I just have to name drop this big one because they're all cool.
I'm encouraging you to name drop because I just want I'll name drop them if not, because I know as well.
Okay.
But
I mean,
name some of the cool ones because,
for me, the coolest was Snoop.
Snoop is
Snoop is
so
cool.
So cool.
Lil Baby was cool, although when that happened, I needed Kay to explain to me who that was.
Then you found out. Okay, that's kind of a big deal.
But now, obviously, I know he's like on everything. But
Lil Baby wanted real money on his
there was
checks,
real
right?
money on there. Yeah, it was cool. definitely a different pair. But that's what I like. I don't
Yeah.
wanna, there's so many people that can do custom sneakers. There's so many artists that do it, right? And if you just take a peruse on Instagram, you'll come across so many. But that's what I try to do differently with the pairs that I do, or just like, how can they stand out a little differently? I'm not going to paint, not knocking it. But I don't want to sit around and paint the same butterflies on sneakers that everybody paints on sneakers.
That's right.
Because there's nothing special about that. Anybody can, not anyone, but a lot of people can do that.
Right.
So I just try to make them stand out a bit different. Yeah, money. Boom. Cool.
That's it. Yeah.
Gunna was after a little baby.
Cool.
My guy Mars.
Yep.
Love Mars. He's so
Very
dope.
Cool. Yep. Mars is awesome.
Bia was super cool.
Bia, awesome.
I don't even know. Who else am I meeting? The guy that got me the 2 Fat Joes, one of them, the third pair was for DJ Khaled. So
DJ Khaled.
I never saw any pictures or anything from that, but I'm just assuming he got them.
Yep.
That was cool.
That's a pretty stellar celebrity lineup right there.
Yeah, I can't think right now. Maybe there's more. I don't know.
So if you see a celeb walking down the street in some dope ass kicks, just take a look on MC's page, see if they're the ones that Marissa did, because chances are they could be.
Hey.
Okay, so you have done, I mean, your expansion has been really incredible and I'm sure really rewarding.
Yeah.
And I guess that really kind of brings us to where you're at now in business. So what is some projections, or what do you hope for MC and for yourself, both personally and professionally with MC?
Well, professionally, I have a lot of really cool goals. I think Kay and I are kind of on the same page with that.
Okay.
We're kind of breaking into like the NFT world. So
Super cool.
That I'm excited about. A physical space is something that has been a goal for a long time, and the vision I have for it is not like a typical brick and mortar. It's not going to be a typical retail space. I'm not going to go into the details, but it's going to be super cool.
But it's in your head.
You're going to want to hang out there,
Yes. Amazing.
MC, I don't know, maybe one day, a record label, who knows, it's MC.
Yeah.
But, and then personally, I mean, I grow every day with this stuff.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
So, every new design I have to do is a new experience for me. No day is the same, which is awesome. I'm pretty sure creators can relate to that.
Yes.
Anyone that's like a maker, creator, no day is the same, which is great.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It really is a new learning opportunity every day.
Every day.
Have you ever finished something and been like looked back at it, like, how did I even do that? Or like, I never expected to have done that.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing I know is like having to teach a couple people that have asked questions, like, don't doubt yourself. Don't go back and erase. Do not erase.
Don't erase.
It will work out. It will work out. Just figure a new way to finagle it and make it look dope. Don't erase. Don't go back and erase and paint over on sneakers. Just don't do that.
Oh. That is
be messy.
Expert advice. So for anyone who's listening who is an artist, take that as you will. That seems very important. My artistry is not going anywhere past a stick figure on paper, but
that's okay.
I will erase that one.
Fine. You can erase that.
That's erase that. But real artists, definitely take that advice. Okay, so we're winding down. I have a couple more things that I want to bring in. The first, I'd like to sort of kind of transition into the final few minutes just with understanding what purpose is to you. I think that I like to bring people on who either I see who are living a purpose-driven life or a passion-driven life. So I just like to know, like, what is purpose for you, either personally or what you're doing in business?
I mean, purpose for me is it's just all about passion and feeling your passion. And there's a super corny little thing I'll let you in on. But years ago, I got this really stupid tattoo. And it says passion. And it's like it even looks stupid.
No way.
Yeah. But I got it because I came out of like a long relationship and, wonderful human being, absolutely no bad blood. Towards the end, I'm sure you could feel the same. There wasn't any passion.
Right.
And for me, I felt like that is just the key to life. If you don't feel passion daily, I mean, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your work, then you won't feel like you are working towards your purpose in life.
Yeah.
You know?
So true.
So I still get excited. This is the weirdest thing. Another little secret about me, and then we
love
can close
it.
up. But
I love it.
I knew I was on the right path to my purpose when I would catch myself in the beginning, still do this to this day, randomly smiling while I'm painting.
That is like
It's so strange.
a passion hack or a
I'm
purpose
just
hack.
smiling. I'm like, do. Like, the what? It's so crazy.
I think that's so awesome. It's like, do you really want to know if you like what you're doing? Are you smiling while you do it? And it's
yeah.
that's like a light bulb moment right there,
It's really, the first time I caught myself doing it, which I don't even know how long I was doing it for prior to that, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, this is good. We're on the right path. Let's keep going.
Let's keep doing this. The smile feels
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It does. It feels good to smile too. You know, everyone
It
it feels really good to
Right.
be, you know, feeling that type of energy flow through yourself.
Absolutely. It's great for the mood.
When you are the reason that you are smiling, that's when you know you're on the right path. I think that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us in on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always do a rapid fire round at the end of my podcasts. It's super simple, this or that questions about you, so nothing to worry about. And then I'll let you wrap it up, leave listeners with your last thoughts, give any shout outs, and let everyone know where they can find you. So first, rapid fire. So in the beginning of the podcast, I said we're talking about three things: development, decision-making, and dedication to purpose. That's what these questions are about. The first one, development. Currently, at this very moment in your life, are you working more on personal development or professional development?
I mean, currently, definitely professional, which just ties into personal.
Yes, it is. It really does. I almost see if I can trick people. Like, I know that is where that's what I teach is personal and professional development and how they are so intertwined. So, but currently in the very moment you said professional, which I think is so evident with MC and how it's taking off. Okay. Decision making. This one is, takes people a little bit more to think about, but when you make decisions, do you make your decisions more based on choice or guiding voice? Choice meaning you're like a numbers person, definitive, and
No, absolutely not.
guiding voice meaning intuition, spirituality, gut feeling.
100%.
Yeah. I kind of sensed that based on everything that we spoke about. So you are a decision maker based on guiding voice. I love it. Finally, dedication to purpose. Is this a singular moment in time, like a transitional moment in time, or a daily practice and a daily dedication?
No, daily.
Daily.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
You said that without hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Okay. All right. So we are here at the end, Marissa. I'm going to give you the mic one more. Well, you've got the mic. She has her own mic. I am going to let you take the mic one more time. None of these sayings make sense.
It's okay. I know what you're saying, though.
Do people just usually have one mic? Where do these sayings come from? Leave people with your last words. Famous last words.
I mean, last words, you know, keep an eye out for MC. Keep watching us. We're going to keep growing. You know, follow us. We do a lot of contests. Mm-hmm. We like to get people involved. We like to give back a bit. So just keep an eye out. We're just getting started, really. I mean, I might have started the company in 2015, but we're really rolling now, and we're just going to keep going. Lots of new cool things that we haven't even discussed.
Yeah.
So just keep watching. You can find us at mckicks.com, MC Apparel, MC Kicks on Instagram, MC Arts as well.
Awesome.
For the paintings.
Mm-hmm. And I will have all those tagged in the show notes, so you'll be able to see it, see all those tags. I'll also put them on my Instagram and in all my every social platform that I'm on. You'll see those tags. So and I always say it, so everyone should know. I'm always like at EMCEEKSEKS. So y'all know at all the MCs, MC Apparel, MC Arts, MC Kicks, MC or die.
Yeah, that's right.
MC everything. All right, Marissa, it has been such a pleasure. I'm so happy I got to bring you on.
Me too.
It was truly, truly a ton of value that I know that you brought listeners, especially artists out there, because I actually believe that you are my first painting artist. I've had music artists. I've had other. So you're the first person who is really in that art space.
Cool.
And I think that everyone who's listening, you definitely provided a ton of value, and I'm just so appreciative to have had you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
so appreciative to be here.
And as I end all, maybe I'm not ending. We've got something in the sidelines. Come. Shout out the Instagram. Yeah, shout them out.
Oh, I did. Oh, MC Kicks, MC Apparel,
Yeah,
MC Arts.
We gave those shout outs.
Yeah.
Everyone. We've got, by the way, the elusive K is sitting in the sidelines supporting both of us for. Actually, this is a funny time to say this. I have a couple minutes left, and no one knows. Kay has been brought into several conversations. Kay is my boyfriend, but he is. I think it's so funny because I often think that most people think that you two are dating because you're his partner, and he'll always say his partner. And I thought at the market it was so funny because I'd be sitting there and he'd be like, "Oh, my partner's at home painting."
Mm-hmm. And also, everyone just thinks Kay's the artist when they meet
all
us.
These,
both.
all these mix-ups here.
Between the two of us, it's Kay.
Yeah. Well, one day Kay will come on the show and talk to us about the business side of MC Kicks, and we'll pretend we're not dating so that I can interview him. Okay, so the real ending of the show. Until next time, let this be the moment.
Cool.